What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Chi-Town Blitz episode. Got a great episode for you guys today. We're going to be breaking down some moves the Chicago Bears should make in free agency, some prospects the Bears should look at in the draft as well. We got our special guest today, our favorite Bears reporter, Zack Pearson. Can't wait for you guys to check it out. But before you check it out, make sure to like and subscribe on this YouTube channel. Check us out on all the podcast platforms too as well. This episode's on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, all the platforms you see and listen to podcasts on. So be sure to check us out on all that. Make sure to check us out on the Instagram and the Twitter and TikTok, all under Chi-Town Blitz. But like I said, this is a new YouTube channel, Chicago Bears content strictly. So help us out, help us grow and get where we want to be.
I don't think Justin Fields is going to be a terrible quarterback his whole career. I don't know if he's going to be a great quarterback. I think Caleb Williams has a higher ceiling. I think Drake May is probably going to be the more consistent quarterback of them. And I think Jayden Daniels is going to be the guy that's boom or bust. I mean, this dude is taking all the hype right now going into, March here.
Right.
I think he's either going to boom, like shoot, or he's going to go the wrong way. So it's tough. It's just, it's tough, man. I'm glad I don't have to make these decisions.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough decision for sure. But, the Ryan Bates thing, Justin Fields didn't get traded. But Ryan Bates, the Bears, traded for him. What was your thoughts on that? I know Brad Biggs was saying he's potentially going to be the Bears starting center or something.
I still think they're going to dress center. Like, I think they'll draft one. I think they could sign one in free agency. I looked at Ryan Bates. He played right guard, left guard, center. He's played a little right tackle. Majority of his time has been at guard. So I'd be really shocked if they went into week one and said, you know what? Here's another Band-Aid on the center position.
Right. That's a good point.
That's what they've done. Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick.
Yeah, Mustipher out there still.
Mustipher. They traded for Dan Feeney. Doug Kramer hasn't really done much out there. It's just they have to find a center. So, or I could be wrong. Ryan Bates is the next,
diamond in the rough.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, who knows? But I'd be shocked if they didn't address center. I mean, there's some good guys out there left still. So, I mean, the Bills just released their other center today, Mitch Moore. So.
Yeah, they released a lot of dudes. It was crazy. They were in cap hell.
Yeah, got to clear up way for next week.
Brought back Mitch, too.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
But, with this move, are you concerned, that we have 5 picks? I know that's one of the drawbacks and the cons of, what people were saying all over Twitter.
No, because I think they're going to get some picks. I do think they'll find someone for Justin. They'll get a day 2 pick, hopefully. I do think trading out of 9 is an option if Adunze's gone, if Neighbors is gone, all those guys, if the tackles are gone. I think they'll get some more picks. I'm not really worried. It does make my job a little easier on draft day because last year they decided to trade for 8 7th-round picks. I'm like, oh my God, type all this stuff up. So, no, I think they'll acquire some more picks. They'll find a way. Ryan Poles wants to build to the draft. I mean, he said it multiple times. I'd be shocked if they went with however many picks, the 5 picks now they have left. So,
yeah, he always finds a way to get some deals done.
True.
Like, the last draft, it was a bunch of picks and stuff that he was trading for in the later rounds. But, pick 9, what direction would you go? Gun to your head.
So, yeah, I would go if Rome Odunze's there. Odunze, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. I'd go him. If not, I'd go Dallas Turner, Jared Verese out of Florida State. And if they're not there, I'd take an offensive tackle. I'd take either Joe Alt, be my preference, or the kid from Penn State, Olu Fashanu. But I would probably go with the wide receiver. I think we've addressed the defense. You still have a hole on another pass rusher, but let's get some weapons in here. Give Caleb DJ Moore, give him another rookie wide receiver, grab another one in free agency, build up the offense.
Right. How high are you on Neighbors? Because that wasn't a name you mentioned.
Oh, no, I'd throw Neighbors in there. Yeah, I mean, if he's there at 9, I would take him. Yeah. I don't think he'll be there, though.
Damn. Yeah, I'm nervous that either one could
I'm
go off
seeing
the
some
board.
people,
Last year, it was once the first receiver was took, everybody wanted to go get their guy. So I mean, at 9, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of value with these like day 2, day 3 wide receivers.
Yeah,
too.
the
Like,
receiver
2
and
Florida State kids.
the draft class for receiver has been highly touted.
Well, I saw a mock draft yesterday that had Neighbors ahead of Marvin Harrison. Neighbors going to either these are like New England or Arizona. Yeah. And then Harrison went like right behind him. And then
People getting too
Harrison went
bored.
right behind him.
People getting too bored. We got another month. We got like 2 months.
Yeah, it's
Almost,
almost there. But so with receivers potentially going early, would you trade up for a receiver? Would you see that? You mentioned the Patriots trade.
Right.
Yeah.
Neighbors and Adunze, would you trade up for him?
Man, I'd have to really, really love him. I'd have to make sure like this dude is better than Marvin Harrison Jr. This dude is going to be Randy Moss. He's going to be first 3 years of Odell Beckham Jr. for a long time. Like he's got to be a stud.
Yeah, it'd have to be Marvin to do that, I think.
Yeah,
And I don't think we could pay that much to get him.
I don't think so either.
You're giving up next year's first rounder too, pretty much. So
yeah, that's what it takes, and it's definitely going to be interesting. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but a guy on Twitter, we were sending it in our group chat. Some dude, he gets haircuts with Justin Fields, same barber, right? And he was in some Twitter space, and he was like, me and Justin Fields, we got the same barber, Brisker too. Y'all think, he's going to get traded and stuff, but they're over there laughing behind closed doors. It's all a part of Poe's scheme and stuff.
It's all staged.
Mm-hmm.
When does Justin Fields ever do interviews and stuff?
The podcast was staged.
yeah, I didn't see that. Was that like a Twitter Spaces or whatever?
Yeah. I forget where it was, but if I find it, I'll send it to you. It was crazy. Is there still a chance that they could keep Justin Fields, you think? We can go back on that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance. Things happen. I mean, Caleb could have really bad medicals. I don't think that's the case. The Bears could just be like, yeah, we don't like any of these quarterbacks. I'd be really surprised. Like, I don't want to say it's 100% Caleb because once you put that on Twitter and you like do all that stuff, people just never forget that. Because there's always things. I mean, things can happen. Like I've gotten bad info on stuff. Reporters get bad info all the time. It's just how it is. So I think there is a chance. It's very, very slim though. And I'll say this though. I think there's almost no chance that Caleb and Justin are on the same roster.
No, yeah, you can't do that. I've seen some people say you should do that. Sit Caleb for a year. Was it Ryan Leaf was saying that? You got to sit Caleb for a year. Justin's going to start. That doesn't make no sense.
And the same people that say that, they use the same examples. Like, well, Green Bay did it. Kansas City's done it. I'm like, yeah, but like nothing against Justin Fields, but there is a clear difference
He's not Brett
in
Favre.
learning from Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and even like Alex Smith. I mean, yeah, he might have been a boring quarterback, but like that dude was in the system for a couple years. The Chiefs went 12-4 the year before they drafted Mahomes, won the division. Like he was a good
Had the most Pro Bowlers. He might have been a Pro Bowler that year.
He had success.
Nothing against Justin, but it's totally different. And honestly, it doesn't make sense for Justin. If you're going to say we're going to do right by him, why would you put him on the roster with Caleb Williams when okay, yeah, DJ Moore's got my back. I'm sure a lot of the veterans have my back. The rookie's probably going to be closer to Caleb. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, I don't think the Bears locker room's like that, but there would be a little if Justin Fields played bad the first couple of games, oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's over with. We yanked his ass.
Nah.
Same way we yanked dude.
And it hurts his trade value too. Like if he goes out there and plays well, but if he stinks it up, we ain't getting shit for him. We got to cut him.
I mean, if we was getting shit for him, he would be traded. So
fair point. But let's talk a little about Caleb then. It seems like it's going to be our guy, our quarterback. So what's some realistic expectations for Caleb in year one, you think?
I mean, that's kind of tough because there's always a rookie learning curve. It's hard. Like I feel bad for any quarterback that's here next year.
It's going to be loud as fuck.
Yes.
Oh my God. The first interception.
It's going to be crazy.
I got crap on I got crap on Twitter for this. I said, someone asked me like, week 1 is going to be wild on Soldier Field. And I'm like, yeah, depending on what comes first, interception or touchdown. And someone's like, well, you already assuming that Caleb's a quarterback. We have a quarterback. I'm like, yeah, but
Oh my goodness, Justin fans is crazy.
Justin Glazers.
Nah,
It
they
is
out
crazy
there.
out there. I'm like scared to tweet now almost sometimes. I'm just kidding. No, it's. I think with like Caleb, like I wouldn't be like worried if he comes out and struggles. I'm also like his first game if he's playing great. Like I'm not going to be like, oh man, this dude.
We
is
did
the
it.
next legit
We
star.
did it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there might be a little bit of that just because the Bears haven't had that in a long. I mean, Justin was probably like the last one there was like a lot of excitement for.
Right.
I think, obviously he's going to have the weapons. He's got DJ Moore, he's got Cole Kmet. If they get another wide receiver in free agency, a wide receiver in the draft, whatever they do on the offense, he's going to have weapons. If he comes out and stinks and it's really bad, I'd be shocked. I don't like, my expectation kind of is like middle of the road to start. Like he won't be the reason why they lose games. He might not be the reason why they win a lot of games. I just wouldn't get too like into it where it's like, man, this guy's a bust, this guy's a star. Because like I said, there's a learning curve. But man, I will say if he comes out firing in week 1 or week 2, whatever the home opener is, week 3,
It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I'm paying my
Give him a
nails.
statue.
I'm paying my nails.
right.
That's it.
That's what I also say. Like the first time he plays Green Bay and he puts on his nails, F Green Bay. Like all these people that are worried about the nails will be like, man, that is the coolest.
No,
thing
it was
because
cool
he's
when he
just-
did it in college.
Yes.
So it's like I don't have
I
a
have-
problem with it.
I have no problem with it. And like people take it way too serious and they just see it. But like if you actually like look at what it is, his mom is a nail technician. His mom has been a nail technician his whole life. Like, yeah, so his mom does nails, I believe. Like she did nails in DC, stuff like that. And to me, man, like do whatever you want in your personal time. Like don't do crimes or anything like that. If you're good at, like, I'm gonna tell you guys, like football players are weird. Like they'll tell you some are weird. Like they're weird guys. Football coaches are weird. If you win, doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. Like that's all it comes down to it.
Yeah, 100%.
So have you gotten a chance to break down his film at all?
Not since I've watched him in like college games this year. I've seen a couple of YouTube things. I saw the Notre Dame game. Didn't really like what I saw the first half, obviously.
Yeah.
Second
That was a
half-
stinker.
Yeah, second half a little better, but they were so far out of it. I did see the Utah games, the Oregon game. For me, it's like, man, that defense was ass.
Very ass.
Like that defense was ass.
Very.
They were not doing Caleb any favors on offense at times. And with the Miller Moss thing, I think Miller Moss actually fits the system a lot better. He's more of that like, kind of like Lincoln Riley type quarterback in my eye. I see a lot of special plays. I also see a lot of things on the offense that like he did might not work in the NFL right away. Like you're not going to have 16 seconds, 10 seconds back there spinning around.
Yeah, that's the last thing
Nobody's
I wanna see.
open. Get rid of this shit.
Exactly. And that's kind of like the same thing with like Justin. It's like, yeah, he made all those splashy runs and everything. And that's great. Justin has the legs to go 60, 70, 80 yards every time. Caleb has legs to escape and make throws. But it's like, same with Justin, we saw like he'd get in trouble back there and he'd have to take off. I've been kind of curious to see what Caleb would do because, like I said, he's not going to have the 10 seconds, 8 seconds that we saw. There's one play, who was earlier in the year, maybe it was like San Jose State or something like that. He was spinning around, running, and then you threw like a 35-yard touchdown pass. I'm like, yeah, but you're playing, in the NFL. That's not
unrealistic.
So, exactly. I think the arm talent there is there. Like that arm it's good, and I don't like saying he's Mahomes because like there's too much pressure on him. And Mahomes, but like he's got kind of like that like gunslinger type.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see Caleb step into this offense, do all the great things. We talked a little about the receivers, Neighbors and Adunze. Which one will be the better duo? Adunze and Williams or Neighbors and Williams? Which one you taking? Because I know Neighbors and him are good friends, I think.
Yeah, I would lean toward Dunze. I just love his game, man.
Yeah, I love
Bigger body, contested catch, like he
Man.
catches everything.
That dude is honest because he was asked about if he could fly a plane and save people on a plane, and he said, "Nope, we're all going to perish because I cannot fly a plane." That's honesty. I like that. Don't get my hopes up. Let me know what's going on. No, in all seriousness, no. Like, yeah, I think Adunze fits better. Kind of, that bigger body receiver, like kind of not like a DJ Moore, but kind of similar in a way.
Yeah. Similar play styles.
Yeah, we need a guy that can go up and get the ball. Like, go up and get the ball. I think he'd fit that perfect.
Like those dudes we used to have, Brandon Marshall and Jeffrey. Oh my God, they was different. That was good tandem.
Man. It's crazy. They didn't even win a playoff.
Matt Forte.
Yeah, they didn't even win a playoff. They didn't even go to
Oh, he had a whip that year. It was the defense.
It was the defense that was ass.
The hell with defense that year.
Man, that's just the Bears' luck. They finally get an offense that's like the best it's ever been at Soldier Field, and then they just can't stop a nosebleed. Like, even if they have like the 31st ranked defense, if they had like the 26th ranked defense, they're probably in the playoffs.
Yeah, at least.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, is there any positions in free agency you see us being more aggressive than others?
Yeah, I think the obvious ones would be defensive line. Like, get a pass rusher, get another pass rusher, get someone up front. Safety, I think, I don't know, like aggressive, but safety, I think they'll get a value signing there. Like, there's a lot of good safeties in this class. There's going to be a lot of money. So like, you can go out and get one. Yeah, I would say probably defensive line, safety, wide receiver, probably the three that I think they're gonna probably be a little more aggressive and target.
So some of those positions, like if you were Ryan Poles, what decisions are you making? Like, give us a little breakdown, a little free agency plan.
So I'm going into it and I'm looking at it this way. I'm saying Montez Sweat completely changed our defense when we traded for him. That dude was a game changer. If I can get me one more of those guys, if I could get Christian Wilkins, if I can get Bryce Huff, Daniil Hunter, if I can get one of those three, maybe a fourth, whoever else is out there that's big, I would strike there. I would look in the trenches first. I would say, okay, you got Lloyd Cushenberry at center.
Oh yeah, I want him.
Mitch Morse is out there, was just cut by Buffalo at center. I'm looking at the trenches. I'm saying, I'm building my lines to protect my quarterback and to get after the other quarterback.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to wide receiver and I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, let's look at the class this year because it's kind of looked like it was going to be a good class. Then Mike Evans got tagged. A bunch of people got
Pittman got tagged.
Signed. Yeah, and then so you have Ridley, Darnell Mooney is out there, which I don't think he'll be back at all. I'm probably looking. I'm like, is there a value signing? Like, the kid that Buffalo just cut today, Hardy.
Yeah,
I can't think of his name.
Deontay Hardy. Yeah,
I'm looking at Deontay. Yeah, I'm looking at that. Like, can I get a speed guy out there?
I like that as a return guy too, because we need.
It's a return guy. I'm looking there, and then I'm looking safety, probably a value signing. Like I said, got to pay the Jalen Johnson eventually, and things like that. I'm looking actually at running back too.
Ooh.
A lot of people are not going to be happy about it. I'm looking at running back, and I'm saying it's a position that no one's really talking about. Like, Adam Johns is the only one I've really heard talking
Joe
about.
Mixon might get cut, too. I just seen. They're like,
I didn't see that.
It might have been like one of those, was it a Ball Sack Sports or something?
He took a pay cut last year.
Yeah.
I'm looking at running back, and I'm asking how much the top guys are going to cost. I'm not spending a ton of money on running back, though.
No.
Get me like a tier 2, fringe in tier 1. I'd be happy. I'm just looking at from there. I'm looking at depth. Like, where else can we plug in some of these guys? They're in a healthy cap situation. So for me, if they address defensive line, safety, wide receiver, running back, tight end, I'm good. Center too, if they can find one.
Mm-hmm.
For running back, I've been telling Jaden, this is one guy I really want. At the deadline, we were going to probably try to trade for him not too long ago. But Austin Eckler, I know this year was a little down year, but we could get him cheaper than any of the other running backs for like a 1 year, 2 year.
Yeah, because he kind of fits a little bit. Like, he's He can catch passes out of the backfield. He's probably a guy at this point in the career where he needs a good backup or two.
Khalil Herbert, Roshan.
You need a power back
and
with him.
kind of, you can work him in. I'd actually be in favor of Austin Eckler. I like him. He was great PPR fantasy running back.
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
you used to draft him high in fantasy. One of the first guys.
Easily.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So I'd be a fan of Eckler. I think like Jacobs kind of a name to watch.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they'll go after Saquon. I think Saquon's gonna want to get paid.
Yeah.
We're not gonna break nobody off.
Cool in a Bear. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean he'd look cool as a Bear, but I don't think it'd be that.
But now let's get back into D-line and in the trenches, and let's go a little further on some of those names in free agency. Christian Wilkins, he could be like Akeem Hicks for this defense. I feel like just like more younger, healthier, because he plays a lot of games. He's pretty durable. So I think in our previous episode, what we were talking about when I put out my breakdown, I think Epinesa, I really think he's going to be a Chicago Bear. 100%. Him and Curtis Samuel.
I mean, he's got, I think his brother plays. They're from the area.
Yeah,
his brother
from Oak
plays
Park.
somewhere in Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean, Wilkins would be awesome. Like, Wilkins
Really
would be
want
dominant.
Wilkins.
Yeah, and like you can't. Some people are like, well, they're really high on Gravon Dexter. Yeah, I mean, you could still use you can still.
You need
interact,
depth at that
You can
position.
never have enough depth.
Right.
Like, you can never have enough depth on the defensive line.
Never.
Wilkins will be a game changer. Maybe like, are you ready to reunite with Leonard Floyd? I mean, I don't know.
I'd bring him back. I would bring him back.
Yeah, I mean,
I would. I'd love to sign, at least have depth at pass rush.
Yeah. Danielle Hunter, he's an option out there. Bryce Huff is probably the guy I think would make more sense with the Bears.
Yeah.
I can see that with who's the guy you said?
Epinesa.
Epinesa. I just give me one of those pass rushers, please.
And then at safety, would you lean more towards one guy we're high on, Geno Stone? I think that would be the perfect complement to Brisker. Or would you go Xavier McKinney? He might cost more though.
Yeah, McKinney's going to cost more. I think Stone would kind of fit into like that value almost. I would probably lean that way. McKinney would be nice, but I think he's gonna get some good money on the open market. I don't see them spending a lot at safety. I see them like taking a tier 2, tier 3 guy and being like, "We're good. Jaquan's good. We just need a guy who can fit in here and
just do a little better than Eddie. Just tackle somebody. Get out there and
cheaper too."
But yeah, safety is. I do like some names in the draft, but right now with how many picks we have, we're probably gonna get more. But I think there's some other positions I would want them addressed. But Geno Stone for me would be perfect. That's a guy I want.
Yeah, he would fit in well too. And like I said, he wouldn't break the bank.
He's only 24 too, right now.
24, young. I can see that as a fit for them.
And if we get Epinesa, I think both of them were at Iowa together. So that fits in well.
Yeah, I think so, right?
I think they were,
yeah.
Epinesa, yeah. I think Epinesa's 26. They touched cross paths at some point.
Yeah. I think because I think Stone was 2020 NFL draft, 2021, one of those two. So yeah, I think they were there.
Unfortunately, Jaden didn't get T. Higgins. He got tagged, and the guys that got tagged, there's no business. No business. Do we need to trade for him? That would be too much.
No, and I'm more comfortable with us addressing receiver in the draft, just with how well receivers play right out of college.
Draft class
now,
is deep
it's
too.
only getting more like that with just 7-on-7. People are playing football year round nowadays. So the receiver position and the quarterback position and the DB position are the ones that are benefiting most from that type of stuff. And you've seen it in the draft. So,
and it's kind of like funny too. You mentioned that because like you talk to some of these like players like every year that come out, and they're like safeties or cornerbacks or linebackers. Like this year, Cedric Gray was like, yeah, I was a wide receiver in high school. And like a lot of players are playing wide receiver more, like the 7-on-7, so like more athletic, and that kind of benefits like those that stick at wide receiver. Obviously benefits them, but like those that are like him, he's a linebacker. He's an athletic linebacker because he's playing wide receiver his whole entire life and then transitioning over.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they've been hitting too. Coming into the league, a lot of guys have been 1,000-yard receivers. Puka Nakua, late round gem, Rashee Rice. A lot of dudes have been hitting.
Everybody but our draft.
Tyler
Scott.
Like the guys the Packers draft, like yeah, I mean
all of them. Every hit they drafted all them receivers, and every one is good.
The same draft the Bears took Velas. They traded the pick that went to Buffalo, and it was Khalil Shakir. And it's like you look at their numbers, and it's like okay,
he's solid.
Right.
Yeah, he's not a star, but.
But at the receiver position in free agency, are there any like higher names that you would want to take a look at? Maybe Calvin Ridley. Would you go for him or not?
I'd go to the draft. I would go to the draft. I think it's so much better. I think probably get like a veteran, like late next week signing maybe. I would rather go to the draft. I haven't like. I don't know. With wide receiver, it's kind of tough because it's like they're boom or bust in a way with free agency. Like the kid that went to Jacksonville a couple of years ago, they got was it Rondale? No, not Rondale Moore. It was Christian Kirk.
Oh yeah, Christian Kirk.
He got that huge contract, and he was really good that year. And then he was just So I'd rather take my chances in the draft. There's so many good wide receivers coming out every single year.
True.
What are some other names though that you like in the draft at the receiver position, other than the top guys? I think Xavier Legette from South Carolina could hit. Some names in the deeper in the draft.
Was a kid I mentioned the one kid, Ricky Pearsall from Florida, Arizona State. Man, Legette is good. I've had my eye on him a little bit. At South Carolina, he played with Spencer Rattler, but I thought he was like a lot better.
Yeah,
what he showed.
No, his tape. He jumps off the tape.
Tez Walker from North Carolina was pretty good.
One of your guys
at the combine. Trying to go through the name. Who's the kid? He's not under the radar now. The other Texas wide receiver, not Worthy.
Adonai Mitchell, I think.
Yeah. The guy who broke the record. Yeah.
No, Xavier Worthy was the other one.
Worthy.
Yeah.
He's good too.
There's so many of them, man. Like you'll find like these random ones from like, Boise State or like, North Texas or these like crazy wide receivers. I would say those three would probably be top for my day. Let's see, we're probably looking at late day 2, early day 3, depending on how they go. I mean, like no one's talking. I mean, everyone's talking about Malik Neighbors, but like Brian Thomas,
he had a good combine too. He had a nice little 40.
I mean, he had a good combine. He could shoot up the draft board. So there's just so much up there.
So more on that, quarterback debate, Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. So right now, we talked a little about it. Is there any like underrated spot you could see Justin Fields going? Maybe Denver. Maybe they could get desperate.
Sean Payton.
They're bad for business. They like doing business the wrong way.
I mean, I think after trading those first rounders and all that for Russell, they're like what? They're at like, what are they at? 15, 12-ish in that range. They probably would have one fall to them. I think they probably could see a quarterback fall. I wouldn't say them. Underrated. I would say Giants, or this one's gonna sound crazy, and I brought it up to my co-host, but like you can look at like the betting market, and it's a very high price. Like you can make a lot of money. I don't recommend it, but what about Tennessee? Like they got Will Levis. I get that. I totally understand that. He'll be a second year. They could give up a fourth, maybe like day 3. I think they might pull the trigger on that. Have a competition. Bring Justin in. If Will can't do it, You got Justin. If Justin's not the guy, you got Will. Let's see. So yeah, I'd say New York. Tennessee would be like a long shot, but still kind of like in the picture. But
No,
kind
I
of
don't think Will proved
out.
enough to be like, we're sticking with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would say the Raiders are kind of underrated. I would think them. What does Seattle kind of want to do with Geno?
Seattle, that's an interesting
That's
spot.
nobody talking about
with this
there.
new regime, these
No
new
one.
coaches, like they could
a lot of transition up there, a lot of turnover.
Yeah, a lot of different faces out there releasing a lot of veterans.
Their new coach, he was in Baltimore with Lamar.
DC.
He could like those more mobile quarterbacks. That could be something right there.
Yeah, I mean those are probably the three to keep an eye on.
But I think more on that Denver spot. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. I think those three quarterbacks will all hit. I think they'll all be good quarterbacks. But Michael Penix, that might be my fourth best quarterback. Fourth favorite quarterback. I think he's gonna do something in the right position. I know he's had 4 surgeries or
He
whatever.
can't make a second play. And you've seen what he did against Michigan. What a powerful NFL pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna be deadly accurate, and he reminds me a lot of Tua. On time, no one's gonna get the ball better to you in stride. You got a bunch of freakishly fast receivers. He can really flourish in that offense. But
he missed some throws in that title game too.
yeah, no, that was bad. That was a bad performance by him.
Yeah,
that was he could have made himself a lot. Maybe shot up the draft
easily. If you would have natty and you go crazy.
yeah, you wouldn't have people saying JJ's better than you, taking JJ top 10.
I don't get that one either.
Hell no, not for me.
I understand that.
He definitely gives me Baker and
He could be a solid backup.
that
I think.
undersized, slightly athletic white quarterback.
Someone's gonna take him.
Yeah, someone's gonna take him. Hopefully Minnesota.
Oh yeah, there's value there still.
Yeah, I mean, he could turn out to be good. I don't think he's franchise changing or anything like that. And I just watched Michigan, and I'm like, they ran it. I got it. That's their offense. But let him throw the ball at times, and it was just kind of it was kind of like that Zach Wilson tape where you'd watch him play Coastal Carolina, whoever it was. He was just whipping the ball over the field. McCarthy had some throws where wow, okay, that dude can throw, but then at the same time, it's not consistent. It wasn't consistent in my eyes.
And it's a lot easier when, you got to commit 7 to 8 guys to the run every single play.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep.
But so 2 final questions for you. One hot take for this offseason for the Chicago Bears, and then one hot take this offseason for just the NFL in general.
Okay. For Chicago Bears, a hot take. Man, that's a good one. Let me try and think. Put me on the spot.
Oh, my fault.
Maybe something nobody's thinking about. A huge surprise in free agency or something like that.
I mean, yeah, the Titans thing for Fields. That was a good, good little hot take.
I agree.
Kind of a little bit of a bold prediction. I think they are going to sign a running back at free agency.
Damn.
That'd be my.
I can't see Poles breaking off a running back. He's gonna stay in one of these running backs for the low.
That would be a bold prediction where I'd be like, man, if it happened, I wouldn't be shocked.
Watch it be Gus Edwards.
Yeah. No, please not. I would say
Gus Edwards.
NFL bold prediction. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say, and this is actually kind of I'm spoiling something here that I'm putting out.
Okay.
I think Minnesota's going to trade up to number 3.
Oh, damn!
I think Kirk Cousins is going to go to Atlanta. I think Minnesota will go up to 3, and they'll take. I think it'll be Drake May.
Damn!
What is it going to cost?
Justin Jefferson?
God,
Not JJ. You pay Bill without JJ.
No, it'll be. Who was it? So I think it was a first this year, obviously. First next year. Second or third this year I had. And then first this year, first next year. or I think it was a third this year and a second next year, something like that. I have to go back and look, but I think Minnesota is going to trade up for a quarterback. I think Kirk is going to. I think there's some smoke there for Atlanta. It's kind of a bold prediction, but I think they want to get Justin Jefferson, maximize Jordan Addison. They're going to take Drake May, and I think Drake May will be. I don't think he'll be like superstar like MVPs nonstop. I think he'll be probably one of the more. I think behind Caleb, most consistent quarterback in this draft.
Okay.
He'll be.
So you think Daniels to Washington then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. They got new owner. They got all that new. They got new man. All that over there. I think it's just weird if you like. I don't know. To me, it'd be weird if you drafted Drake. I think Drake is a better prospect, but like I think it's something I keep going back to. It'd be a little weird if you drafted Drake and his best friend is their quarterback, Sam Howell. Like that's kind of.
That is kind of weird.
Trade Sam Howell. Trade Sam Howell.
Yeah, Sam.
Honestly,
they ain't tripping on Sam
matter.
ass because it ain't even the coaching staff that drafted or the GM that drafted him. So yeah, they could give a fuck about Sam.
Exactly. They don't care. It's not going to happen because of that. I just keep going back. I'm like, it's just a weird thing. But I think they'll take. I think they'll take. I think Daniels will have a great pro day. It'll be like one of those pro days you'll see him like roll out and throw like a 70-yard pass, and then everyone like freak out over it, that's fair. I mean, we're supposed
to, like Anthony Richardson
hit the ceiling.
Oh shit!
Those would be like two bold predictions, I'd say. The Bears. I was trying to think of a better one for the Bears. It's kind of hard. Like it's.
No, Poles is pretty consistent.
Yeah, and he's pretty honest with the media and stuff. So pretty like upfront. So it's hard.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they got some storylines. Like they got stadium stuff is still out there and going overseas this year, all that good stuff. So we'll see.
But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for coming on again. We'll probably have to get you. Problem. We'll have to get you on again. You can preview the season later on in the year. But thank you for your great analysis and your expertise as always. It's been a pleasure. But that's all we got for the show today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe on the channel. And yeah, as always, peace.